Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, what's up? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Thanks for joining me today. Got a few things we're going to be real about today. Esoteric. Asking about that. Are we going to be real? But awesome to have you all here. Make sure you follow and subscribe the YouTube channel and Rumble. Streaming on Rumble as well. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. And follow me on Twitter. Besides that, we're going to be covering a couple things here. And it's going to be a little loosey-goosey, if I may steal a term. So we're going to get into it here. You know what was trending on Twitter? 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒏 was trending on Twitter. And it refers to a challenge that surfaced on the internet earlier this year. And it's basically, oh, that's not it. A challenge asking the internet for a photo of a pregnant Michelle Obama. Putting a bounty of $10,000 for any photo showing Michelle Obama pregnant. And so that was trending. It's a little bit of a challenge, a little silly. See, some people believe that Michelle Obama is a man. One such person is John Doyle. You might know this name. Young guy, I believe still runs his show Heck Off Commie or some other iteration of it. He appeared on Jesse's Fallen State, so he was there. This guy. You know this guy, John Doyle, Heck Off Commie, young guy. I met him at a dinner. He was at the AFPAC dinner actually in Florida. I met the guy, nice guy. I have no issue with him. No problem here. Although he did tweet about this 10K Michelle Obama thing. Okay. Where is that sucker? Here it is. There's still a handsome bounty for a verified photograph of Michelle Obama pregnant. And, you know, this is kind of dumb. It's kind of silly, but I met this guy. He's a young conservative guy. Trying to put out the truth and all that. And even here, he's like, you know for a fact that Barack and Michelle, in quotations, share a laugh over the subtle revelation in the title Becoming Michelle Obama, which is the title of, I guess, Michelle Obama's biography or someone writing about her. No, it is hers. Michelle is literally a man. That is what John Doyle says. Literally a man. I don't know. I'm just saying we got to stay what we know. We can have fun and talk about stuff. I'm not trying to be the language police here, the meme police. Hey, we're sick of all that anyways, right? Let's talk freely, have fun, and if we say a little off-color things, Hey, it's just free men talking, right? What's the big deal? But literally a man, I don't know, just things are getting like more and more confusing, and information is weird, and we can't trust stuff. There's people out there who are really into that. There's probably some of you in the chat. Who are. I have a diverse audience. Okay. I have no problem with the whatever. But some of you in the chat too. You're like, no. I had a caller, nice lady. I like talking to her, Teresa. And she's all like, I could just look at a celebrity and that's a man. I could tell that that's transgender. You know, most celebrities that we see as women. She'll look at a photo and just from the shoulders, just from the neck, oh, that's a man. It's a big conspiracy. But sorry, guys, the 10K challenge is already done. Sorry, y'all. I already found the goods. I already got the goods. Yep. Pay up. Easy money. There she is. Michelle Obama, the lady, which I believe she's truly a lady. At least a female. At least a female. See, that picture I just showed you, though, was AI generated. Anybody catch it? Anybody know? Yeah, that was a fake photo. This is an AI generated image of Michelle Obama. So I guess the bounty's still out there. And I'm not being tongue-in-cheek either. If I thought Michelle Obama was a man, I would just tell you guys. You know, there's a lot of, you guys speculate a lot. Like, you guys think that I'm not, keeping things hush-hush. Oh, I'm really into this or into that, but I won't say. Like, look, if I honestly thought Hitler was a stand-up guy, I would tell you guys. I just don't know. I haven't done my homework. And I don't really care that much. I care about stuff. Hey, it's interesting, whatever. History. But, okay. Yeah, that was AI-generated image. And I know there's a lot of talk, AI dangers. This godfather of AI came out and said that it's a big deal. Bad actors are trying to harness artificial intelligence for bad things, says this Geoffrey Hinton, Turing Award-winning scientist. Okay, the Turing test, I spoke about that. It was a test, kind of old, outdated now, meant to test if you're speaking to an artificial intelligence or a human. But yeah, this guy Geoffrey Hinton saying not a good thing, warned of the risks. So I understand all that. But I don't know. I'm not afraid of AI lying to me. Am I being a tough guy here? A big tough guy? I'm not really afraid of AI lying to me because I could tell. And I don't mean like I'll ask it a question and what I mean by I could tell, I just simply am saying that I just don't trust anything Google, even just a Google search or whatever. I don't just trust willy-nilly what I search. I try and say here on the show, I heard, or I'll try and be accurate on where I'm getting the information from. And when I don't exactly know or making an opinion, making a statement of fact, then I'll try and say so. Where's Alan Turing now? I think he's dead. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not afraid of AI. I could tell. Like I'm writing stuff, and it's being biased. I could kind of tell. Can you guys still tell? Can you guys still tell when AI is lying? When that Michelle Obama picture was real or fake? You know what I'm saying? All right. So, anyways, gonna get into a topic. It's a bit boring. Okay, I'm gonna slog through a bunch of boring information, a lot of math and statistics. I'm about to get into it, so just hunker down. Don't try to fall asleep. It's a lot of technical stuff. We're going to be dealing with carpentry and just sort of boring, but there's a point here. So just make sure you're ready for that. Okay. All right, fellas. I think the ladies are gone. Now that it's just us. All right, fellas. Now that it's just us, because the ladies definitely left, right? I teased this story yesterday a little bit. Some developments in Utah, okay? And they're talking about pornography. Utah has a new age verification law, okay? And so the news was that adults, I'll read it out here from RT. Oh, I'm reading RT, by the way. I got this off RT. Russia Today. I'm reading the enemy's news. But yeah. Adult streaming company Pornhub suspended its services in the U.S. state of Utah on Monday in protest at a new law that requires pornography websites to verify a user's age before granting access to their content, okay? And so, Utah people tried to access this website. You should be should be a little bit more aware. But they went on and they found a message instead of their website, instead of trying to consume their expected content, the website gave them a statement. Pornhub's statement says, as you may know, your elected officials in Utah are requiring us to verify your age before allowing your access to our website. We believe giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is an ineffective method to protect users and will put children and your privacy at risk. They don't really say how or why. How are the kids more at risk if they have to show ID? But that's pretty interesting. It seems, in my time, one of the what seems to me, in my time, one of the most significant moves to regulate internet, at all. Because that's kind of how it's always been for me growing up. The internet, largely Wild West, like Wild West as in who could use it. There's been regulation and censorship and different things going on. But in terms of government regulating its use and who use, like to the point that you'd need to show ID verification, it's pretty significant from what I could tell, just growing up in my lifetime. So pretty interesting, right? And the whole point here being it's harmful to minors, okay? In March, Utah Governor Spencer Cox signed into law a bill entitled Online Pornography Viewing Age Requirement, which came into effect on Tuesday. The legislation mandates that reasonable age verification methods must be adhered to by adult websites available in the state that distribute material harmful to minors. And that's just true. It's harmful. It's just a fair statement, at least. We can at least agree on that, right? It's harmful in how it, in what it awakens, and it's the wrong mindset. It's the wrong kind of mindset and scope of interest for a child. You know what I mean? When we just know that innately, putting it into words already kind of puts you on the defensive, which is kind of interesting, an interesting overview of having to defend anything. But you already kind of put it at a defensive, having to put it to words. You already know that kids should be interested in different things. They don't have they're not looking far ahead, the foresight to realize the dangers of sex, okay? Not just getting pregnant and and disease like they teach you in school. Not just those things, but how it affects the mind and spirit. It's the same as drinking, the same as anything that clouds you and keeps you away from a state of sobriety in the mind and the soul. You feel me? You follow me. You know what I'm saying here. But Utah, I hear the big Mormon state. Am I wrong about that? And I see the callers. Thank you so much for calling. 888-775-3773. I hear Utah's big Mormon state. Bunch of city council members in this area, like 9 out of 10 are Mormon. So they're trying to make it moral. We don't like this. We're trying to. We gotta stop it. Legislate morality. Some might decry. Utah's legislature declared pornography to be a public health crisis in 2016, which officials said was harming the citizens of Utah and the nation. This came 7 years after the predominantly Republican state was declared the online porn capital of the United States, following a study conducted by Harvard. Yeah, so that, I mean, just that by itself is interesting. Big Republican state, Mormons, Christians, whatever. We all have, everyone's going through, everyone has the same issues. You know what I'm saying? In 2021, it was reported by Utah's The Salt Lake Tribune that people representing the conservative-leaning Church of the Latter-day Saints hold 9 out of 10 every 10 seats in the state's legislature. So, couple of things here. Well, I'll finish this here. Digital experts have sided with Pornhub and its peers in the age verification debate. Jason Kelly, the Associate Director of Strategy at Digital Rights Watchdog, believes that moves to restrict underage viewers, while sound in theory, come in parallel to a secondary risk of websites people visit. Their viewing habits can be tracked and connected to their identity, he said in March, and companies don't necessarily have a system in place to protect that data. So that's like a whole nother thing, right? What a mess. Technological advancements in society. Now we're on the back foot here, trying to like deal with the fallout. And in trying to deal with it, let's say they force everyone for ID to access this stuff. Now your data is on a record of you accessing this stuff, and that data is connected to you. Should that ever get out? Like, you know what I'm saying? Gets hacked. Your identity is now connected to this content. So it's like, what do we do here? What do we do? What are we gonna do about all this porn? And this whole topic too is interesting because of, for example, history and obscenity laws. And over the years, there's been like numerous Supreme Court cases that have changed the landscape of obscenity laws, with a concerted effort to loosen the laws and even attempts to protect pornography under the First Amendment, saying that it's protected speech and things like that. And so there's been a fight, but as it stands now with this Supreme Court case, a landmark court case, Miller in California, something like that. And they basically figured out a test on how to figure out if content is obscene, whatever. But many say, just read yourself the Wikipedia. It loosened a lot of obscenity laws. Okay, you used to just not be able to just put out, nasty content, harmful to minors or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the children. It was like, we all believe this. We're all in this together. Well, not in this together, but we're all kind of in a semblance of agreement on what this society is about, right? You know what I mean? Not just, well, hey kids, don't do it. But once you get 18, you can join the club of sinners. Kind of making myself laugh using random terms I'm just making up on the spot. Don't read too much into them. But that kind of speaks to something else here. Tell me what you guys think. am I too simple? Am I too simple with this one? Because I'm not really. There's sort of a battle in the conservative world where it's like, well, is it free speech or should you be allowed to censor people? Maybe they'll try and defend porn by saying censorship. Well, that's censorship. Or maybe the conversation turns into about freedom. Like if someone wants to do it, they should be allowed to. Okay, then it turns into the, minor or adult thing. Okay, well, let's ban it for the minors. Okay, let's put that aside. Let's talk about the adults. Sometimes the conversation about pornography is about banning it for all people as well. And so many things come up in these conversations, like I just said, like about, well, if people are free in this country to do what they want, they don't hurt someone else or something like that, then I guess they should be allowed to, right? And then some people say, well, there used to be obscenity laws. This used to be a Christian country. The founding fathers wouldn't have allowed this kind of stuff. The people back then would be okay with tougher obscenity laws or no pornography or whatever, and it still wouldn't violate like the First Amendment and the essence of America and all that. And I get all those conversations, fine. And quite fascinating, the whole thing. But am I too simple with this one? Because let's get real for a second. Let's be real. Let's be real, fellas. If we got over it, if we overcame it, this would not be an issue in the country. Am I in a fantasy world here saying that? This feels like reaction out of fear. And maybe I'm judging. Maybe I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And the Mormons in Utah are based and it's coming from the right spirit and they're just tough and they're just not going to take it anymore. But it feels like a lot of this reactions from the right, the Christians, it's like a fear thing. Because if they overcame it, this would not be an issue. It feels like these are all the kids they raised that are all into this stuff. They themselves may be unable to totally overcome. You know what I'm saying? So their reaction is not a reaction of strength and because I think it might be possible to ban porn, but in the right spirit. Maybe that's possible. That's what I'm trying to leave room for here. But it just doesn't feel like that lately. I guess feelings are beta, and I shouldn't be listening to feelings. But it just doesn't feel like that. It feels like a reaction of fear, and maybe a fear of what's inside of themselves, what they've given to the children and to the next generation. And so we must eradicate it. Am I just being simple here? Maybe too simplistic. All right, so that's what I got to say about that. I got some more topics to get into, but I got plenty of calls on hold. Let me see here. What are y'all up to? Yeah, wait, chat's kind of interesting right now. Willie Powell says, porn should be banned and penalized. Nick self-amuses. LOL. Porn messed up society. Yeah, but it's like been messed up about the same thing. It just looks different. I bet you people in biblical times, maybe not to the scope or level, but it's like they dealt with the same internal thing. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, but you know what I'm saying here? All right, y'all, let me get to calls. I got Art from Ohio wants to talk about this, and I will get to all of you guys. 888-775-3773. Art, Ohio, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Nick, what's up with you?
What's up, Art? Hey.
What's up with Nick, brother?
we got Art Mania.
Yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Right on, man. So thanks for calling.
No, thank you for having me, man. I get what you're saying, but I feel like the Mormons is basically, they need to pull their skirt down. They're exposing themselves. God don't want robots. he wants you to be just like me and Hake was talking earlier, whatnot. And I said he was talking about my immorality, where I was talking about having sex out of wedlock or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's something that God has to work with me on. If the Mormons in Utah are having problems with porn, that's the devil. That's something that God has to work with every person in Utah that watches porn. You can't play the mama spirit and try to ban that. You know what I mean? That's God working with. Some people are able to fix themselves to where they're able to pull that they have a strong disciplined mind to where they can pull themselves away from some things, just like somebody can pull themselves away from smoking cigarettes or weed. You know what I mean? Some people ain't, but I kind of feel like that's the mama mentality where they don't have faith in Father God, just like my grandmother. She didn't have her faith in God. I would question it because she went and got the vaccine when if she was like me, or if she was really in the walking with Father God, that she would have known that she didn't need to take no vaccine because she was going to be all right. God being with her all them 75 years, and he ain't let her down. So why would he do it at 75? You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
yeah, man, and I got to say, go ahead.
Well, I mean, okay, and that's the first thing. But if
I may on the porn stuff, I got to say I mostly agree because the more I think about it, too, the people trying to ban it, and I like leaving room for the possibility of banning it. I'm not against that. I don't know. But it seems like if the people banning it, I just wish that they had, it would just make more sense to me. Life would make more sense to me if I was supposed to be banning something like that I would have an answer for people. Okay, yeah, this is banned because we don't want a society like this, but here's why. But here I have for you the solution on how to get over it. And this is why you should be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that too lofty? Because I don't think it's that lofty. When you hear Jesse talk about how to get over these things, it becomes real. So I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that lofty. But go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, you in 2023. You got this younger generation with the females, and even the ones in my generation. If you ain't got no money or whatnot, and these females ain't trying to deal with you. You know what I mean? They got the mindset, I'm an independent woman, so they're not going to be messing with some of these dudes or whatnot. A lot of them, because a lot of them is beta. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have a whole bunch of boys out here that's going to be running around here sexually frustrated because they probably ain't getting no attention or whatnot, and they got the mama spirit or whatnot because they've been raised by mama. And a lot of these liberal females are turned off by them type of dudes because they got female tendencies and female ways. So a lot of them dudes in Utah are going to be running around sexually frustrated or whatnot. and any male in the chat.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I mean,
it seems seems to me like it doesn't matter. I hear a lot about that, like, a lot of women aren't messing with men, a lot of sexually frustrated men or something like that. But I think if you really wanted to, I guess I'm not being very clear here, and I don't think I can. So let's just move on. Go ahead, Art.
Well, you got the gay agenda or whatnot, you pushing it on kids, they seeing that. And I can go back to when I was in high school or whatnot, I would be in class or whatnot, and I would get aroused by just seeing one of the young girls in there with big breasts, or a girl that got a big butt, tight jeans or whatnot. And I had to cross my legs, or I had to hope that the teacher didn't call me to answer a question, want me to stand up and read something in the classroom.
You don't have to be that descriptive, Art.
Yeah, but I would be, what's the word that I'm looking for? I would be aroused at that time. You know what I mean? And I had,
I'm following.
So I just go to say that is that you got young dudes and older dudes that if they get aroused like that, you got to have some type of way to get that energy up off of you.
Really?
You ain't never had blue balls before?
Okay, no, man, stop. Don't be so graphic. It's still just lunchtime for a lot of people. But
do you get what I'm saying? I mean,
look, I'm following you. I'm following
though?
what you're saying. And you know what? Since we're here, look, I just want to say, it seems to me like that even what you're saying there is already like what if you just lived your life without having to say that? And what I'm getting at here is it's like everything you've just said about, well, you have to do that because you have to get rid of the energy. By just simply saying that, you've already like put yourself in a mindset and premise where your reality, in that reality, you have to have that. Do you see what I'm saying? If you could just take a step back and not even make that admission and just watch yourself as you do some of those things, you might find a little bit more insight. Am I making sense here? Because by just simply saying I need to have, you're already accepting something that maybe you don't realize you don't need to accept. It may not even be that way.
But think about it though, Nick. I can understand if we was in the 1900s, where girls was running around here with loose fitting dresses.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They weren't showing, but this stuff it ain't nothing but sexual propaganda putting in front of people every day on TV, work, school, all of this. And it's only natural that a person is going to be like that.
Okay.
And with the agenda, gay agenda that they pushing, you at least want the males to at least, if they going to be like that they at least are attracted to the opposite sex, the way God set it out to be.
Okay. So I accept what you're saying there. And if that's true, if the world is the way you say it is, that they're putting the sex in front of us to control us, then why call it something that you just need? You're calling, am I making any sense here? I don't think I'm being clear here, because you're calling the sex something that you need to do. Okay, that's what I'm trying to focus on here. And yet you also recognize that it was something inflicted on you by whatever, the government or anything, and it's used and you're subject to it. So which is it? Is it a good thing that you need, or is it just something that you're subject to and a slave to? Which one? You know what I'm getting at? Which one is it?
Yeah. I feel like it's a need, unless you can get everybody to go back to the 1900s when everybody, because Tina Turner said it. Tina Turner said it the best. What's love got to do? Opposites are going to always attract. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's the nature of the man and the nature of the female. But what the nature ain't is for you to be pushing sex in front of me. You know what I mean? And this propaganda in front of me to make me in that vulnerable state to where my energy is up like that.
Okay, but can't you see what I'm saying? How despite the reality, despite the you're saying the need to go back to the 1900s and stuff, doesn't it remain true that in this situation that we are in right now, you're still subject to something evil, and whether you can overcome it or not, whether we have the ability to make society or whatever have the tools in front of us to get over it or not, maybe you're subject to it the rest of your life. Okay, I don't know. But can't you just call it what it is instead of saying it's a need, it's what I need, it's something you're subject to, and I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to I see how crazy the world is and the world I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? We got to just call it what it is. I don't know if I'm totally off track to what you're trying to get to, but that's kind of what I'm focusing on.
If I'm understanding you, but if I'm understanding you right, it's saying they both evil, and I'm like this. Which evil do you want? Because truth be told, they don't know what road they crossing. You might ban porn or whatnot, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of sexually frustrated people or boys down there to where they're going to go and start taking it. You might see an influx in rapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
do get what you're saying. There's some evidence even to suggest a lot of what you're saying. And that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like you ban the porn, but you don't know how to get over it yourself. So it's like, give me the answer here. Don't just It's a reaction out of fear, in my opinion. That's kind of what I was getting at. No, but you make a good point, man. Thanks.
So you banning it, and so what are you gonna do? Go back to, because if I'm living in Utah, I'm gonna either go back to getting DVDs, or I'm gonna go back to the old Ron Jeremy book.
Don't say what you're gonna do. At least leave it at an unknown. It shouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? At least though, I'm gonna.
Well, they just swept the dirt to the one side of the room. They ain't really cleaned it up.
No, you make a lot of sense.
And one more thing, and I'm gonna get up off here with.
Yeah, we'll move the wheels after this one.
Okay, so when I was about 12 or whatnot, I remember back in the day. See, I'm an '80s baby. I remember my friends first told me like, "Hey man, we got the magazines." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Whoa." It was, back in the day, that was hard to come by. The stores had them, but they had them put up. So when my friends my age, we little hood babies or whatnot, little rug rats. I'm like, "Man, no, you don't. You lying. So they go get one, and we got a little place out there in the woods or whatnot to where we could, there was a little clubhouse in the woods or whatnot. And all the boys would be standing around like, whoa, you know what I mean? So just thinking about back to that or whatnot, I'd rather the boys look at that and be looking at it and understanding it. Oh, I'm attracted to girls. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like they playing the mama spirit and they ain't naturally letting boys do what they do or whatnot.
You know what? I don't know if I have the words to totally comment on what you're saying, but there might be even some truth to what you're saying. I mean, I think what you're describing is just when we were growing up, or even when you were growing up, like that. It just shows how things have been degenerating for a long time. I don't know if that's a sign of anything good, but you have a point. I think you have a point about the mama thing and government playing mama and stuff. When kids, like, look at our own lives and the things we get into. Like, I think there's a point there somewhere. I can't quite.
Check this out. Do you want them to go with the liberals? Because the liberals is pushing the gay agenda and the liberal female agenda in school or whatnot.
Yeah, and they're also pushing the porn. It's the Utah. I don't think the Utah people are liberals.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. But you never know.
But I mean, you want to push them to the left, or you want to push them to at least in the middle or towards the right? Because the left is trying to turn the boys to where they wearing dresses and transgender, and the boys is liking boys. Or do you want to be in the middle or to the right, where they like the girls?
Yeah, Depressed Toilet makes a good point in the chat. Says he disagrees. He thinks banning it will make people more productive, and that kind of brings up a good point. We don't really know what would happen. It could. They say things happened when alcohol was banned during Prohibition and that it didn't work, but I heard it did work and that alcohol consumption went down a lot. And I think some good, some relatively good statistics came out of it. I don't know, Art, but I got to move the wheels, man. Thanks for your call.
I'll catch you later, Gator.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again. Okay. That's what's up, y'all. Okay, look. Let me get into. Let me see. I gotta take another call. I got Nathan, Illinois. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, Nathan? Go ahead.
First of all, I want to apologize. I cursed on your show the other day when I called in.
Oh, you did? Did I miss it? Yeah. I maybe a little loose when I was doing the nighttime Friday stuff. I wouldn't swear myself, but
yeah, it slipped. I'm sorry.
No problem. I accept your apology. Yeah, let's try and keep it clean, y'all. Okay.
All right. So can I start off with a quick Bible verse? I think it's really prevalent.
Yeah, by all means, I don't mind.
All right. Romans 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Yeah, man, we dealt. Jesse brought that up pretty recently. Pretty interesting.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you thinking about that? Why'd you bring it up?
I mean, the Holy Spirit and surrendering yourself to God can absolutely renew you. So, at least to my experience as well. And I've been giving up the desires for the most part. The only thing I still have is a little bit of nicotine. But anyways.
I'm following, man. That's nice.
So
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I think...
so you see a renewing of the... presenting your body a living sacrifice that's what you're seeing. You're saying you're doing that in your life, and by way of because you're doing that, you are giving up old desires.
Absolutely, yes.
Nice. I gotta ask you, how do you present your body as a living sacrifice? Out of pure curiosity, it's not even. It sounds like I'm testing you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to know. Is why I'm asking you.
The mind will tell you that it's like, oh, blood sacrifice. I can't do that. You know, but it's not that. It's just submission and understanding that if you put your trust in Him, He will renew you, restore you.
Interesting. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and then on that porn topic, I mean...
Okay, yeah, you want to comment on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, there's going to be, I believe you make some good points. There's going to be trade-offs. And, like, succubus and incubuses, that type of thing.
What's that?
Those are the demons that come give you wet dreams.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Yeah, so, I just want to say there's trade-offs. People will be sexually frustrated if they have that taken away and they're already of the mother. Yeah. And then I saw Jesse was talking about a spy balloon over Hawaii again.
This Bible in Hawaii. I may have heard something like that.
Yeah, it's so I'm not a huge advocate proponent of flat Earth, but if there's satellites all over the sky, why would our enemies be launching spy balloons?
Oh, spy balloon. I thought you said.
Oh, yeah.
Spy balloons. I heard. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So why would our enemy what?
Be launching spy balloons if they have satellites all over the place?
You know what? I'm not sure. Aren't those images not always that clear?
Right. Well, that's just a little food for thought.
But if they're satellites, if you guys got these fancy satellites in space, why are you using these balloons? I heard someone say, a flat earther tell me that all satellites are basically floating by way of balloons.
Interesting. Well,
you say that. You say, interesting, like as if you've never heard that before, but something tells me you might have heard that before.
well, it's just like, I don't know, man. I see NASA as like a massive confusion spell, and it's been working very well. And the whole globe, we're on a rock in the middle of a empty void.
But there's no hope. All that flat Earth stuff is confusing, though.
It helps me.
It's just as confusing.
Sure.
Maybe I'm not like, but I mean this sincerely. I might just be too simple. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, to each their own. Whatever helps somebody find their faith.
Fair enough.
And then one last thing.
Okay, yes, and then we'll move the wheels.
All right, Andrew Tate. He has a good message on masculinity. For the most part, at least it seems that way. But what I find to be hypocritical is he proclaims himself to be this holy, righteous man of Allah, yet he feeds the sexual deviants, if this is true, by pimping out girls on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. But he doesn't see that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, like, there's kids idolizing him and like, oh yeah,
totally.
This is our hero. It's like, brother, like this isn't the second coming of Muhammad.
Totally, and I think the whole Muslim thing is more recent development with Tate, the Tate brothers?
Yeah, man. It's like, I don't know. If anything, I think he's on CIA payroll.
This is what I'm talking about, guys. This was supposed to be a year of not confirmation bias and calling people CIA ops without knowing. No, but that's fine. That's I'm mostly playing about that, but I got to say you make a really good point. And there's this whole kind of manhood red pill thing that's just taken young people. Like, it seems like young people by storm through Tate. But Tate has always been clear about his motivation and his goals. Sure, he calls it masculinity and manhood, and there may be some relation, but I've come to understand that masculinity is not just about having sex.
Absolutely.
Tate has, although these Tate guys, they get something about the female mind, and they get something about how the female spirit is. Okay, that we can agree on that.
True.
But my point is that he's always been clear about it. Sorry to cut you off, but he's always been clear about his motivation and it's about getting stuff, getting wealth, getting status, showing status, being over, and women and sex. Right. So he's always been quite clear about that, and he's successful in that. So,
True. And then, so it's another thing you said. You said, like, I always hear red pill, blue pill, black pill.
Yeah.
And I only heard one person ever say white pill, and that's Jesus Christ. Take that one. Tell us.
Boom. Take that one. Take it. Put that in your. I was gonna say put it in your pipe and smoke it, but don't do that. Right on, Nathan. Appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. What you're doing. Praying for Patrick over there in Denmark. That guy's awesome.
Nice. Thanks,
praying
Nathan.
For Art, praying for all the callers. Praying for all the super chat GPTers.
Hey.
Love you guys.
Right on, man. We'll call me again. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Moving the wheels. Moving the wheels. Doesn't that sound like a car going by? Moving the wheels. We got calls or stories. I'm kind of feeling the calls right now, y'all. But there is an epidemic. Let me do this, because there's an epidemic. Okay. There's an epidemic. And I came across this. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I'm on the internet. I've been an internet boy since I was a kid. Just an internet caveman. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's some of you in the chat. And I came across this little TikTok here. Where is it? It's just a screenshot, but it's about mental health. It's about autism, and this girl is doing her little TikTok dance, and in the text describes the different symptoms you should watch out for when caring for children, as these may be signs of autism. 6 warning signs of the disorder. And this is like a large. It seems like this, but it seems like a large amount of TikTok content is like this. It's mental health content, people with disorders and mental health stuff showing their symptoms and their tics and their weird quirks that their disease gives them. I say that with quotation marks in my voice. And they'll have a lot of videos like this, and they'll educate you. It's a lot of education of terms. This is what this term means. This term means this. DID, personality disorder. I think DID is the one where you have multiple personalities. Dissociative identity disorder. Yeah, and you have multiple personalities apparently. And these people on TikTok will, and it looks like a joke. They'll film themselves and say, "Hi, I'm Abby, and I'm the sassy one of the." Personalities, and I'm Jane, and I'm the shy one. For real, and it just looks like totally play acting is what it looks like. But I'm seeing all this, and I realize, and I mentioned this about signal boosting before. I've used the term how we're talking about certain topics and really doing, essentially boosting the signal, right? Putting the words and terms and ideas in the people's minds despite trying to warn them away from it. And just how effective simply thinking about certain things are. So I've mentioned that, signal boosting. And this whole thing with TikTok and the mental health stuff, what people don't realize is, for example, like if I went to like a psychologist right now, and I had read the Wikipedia on ADHD, I could convince this, this doctor or psychologist or something that I have a mental disorder. Right? Like that. That's obvious. I know you guys get that, but it bears repeating. It's like just knowing it, you can have it. Okay? Like I know it sounds dumb and simple, but really think about this here for a second. You can warp your mind into manifesting symptoms you read about. Okay? Not just mentally, but even physically. They even have, the experts gave it a word, psychosomatic or psychogenic. They have nice fancy words for this stuff. And here's the thing is most people, like unless you're like gone, unless you're just like gone, most people I bet notice something wrong, okay, about themselves. And then, but the thing is now you get words and you get the words and you get autism and you get DID. And you can imagine a kid doing something stupid or mature and then calling it their autism. And that's kind of like my simple point here. And they make their situation way worse, something that they would have grown out of, something that they would have never been an issue. There's something very Pandora's box about this whole mental illness words, these mental illness words being like proliferated into everyday speech. Something just talking about it, defending it, it all seems like just adding to the flame. Trying to decry it and denounce it, everything is just, it just seems like it. Because it gets worse. And this signal boosting Surgeon General 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍�, I want to talk about this guy for a second. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍�. It might be Vivek. I heard that's how you pronounce Vivek Ramaswamy's name. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍� is the Surgeon General for the United States Surgeon General under the Biden administration. And this signal booster, a self-described Indian American, and he's tasked himself. This guy has given himself the task to rebuild social connection and community in America, especially after the pandemic. He called gun violence a public issue. Well, this same Surgeon General is declaring loneliness. Loneliness is an epidemic. We got many lonely people. U.S. Surgeon General 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍� declared loneliness as an epidemic in the country. Our epidemic of loneliness and isolation has been an underappreciated public health crisis that has harmed individual and societal health, blah, blah. They say it comes with it an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, developing dementia for older people. So there may be some problems there or something. But I'm reading this. And first of all, obviously, it sounds more like signal boosting. But these are the same people who've made, drugs a public health issue. I don't know if they've called homelessness a public health issue, but they treat it like the other public health issues, meaning make it worse. Okay? Tobacco, obesity, they've called obesity a public health. Now, tobacco, I don't see. Some people might say that tobacco, a big fight against tobacco was quite effective, and you could see it that way. A lot less people smoke in America now. I think it's more of a cultural attitude change. It's more of a vape thing. It's more of a pot thing now. It might be more cultural attitudes, young people, tech, but I'm just kind of just saying random stuff about that. Just kind of my opinion. But, yeah, these guys have made all these public health issues, and they're way worse. Please, do us a favor, Murthy. Stop. Just stop. I feel like I had another point about this, but I'm forgetting. They just make things worse. I got callers, though. Let's finish up the calls. Patrick, Denmark, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I really want to get into this quickly. That,
okay.
I mean, we are under mind control. That's what we are learning, all of us. And it's a realization that's coming up over the years. But if you look at your childhood, I mean, I'm a millennial and so on, but we're having Cartoon Network stuffed in our face as children. We are having MTV stuffed in our face with My Humps and all of these things, which it goes into your mind.
Yeah.
And it breaks your mind. And what happened with the birth of the internet? Well, we have the results of what is happening with it. It's what they call mental illness. In Danish, we say we call it you are åndssvag. It means spirit weak spirit. And it used to be recognized, this word, but it's not recognized anymore. But that's what it is. You're weak at spirit because of the hateful spirit that you have in you, as opposed to that spirit of love and perseverance, endurance that we really should have, that our stronger forefathers, they taught us to have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to the guys from the earlier calls, really, Nathan, and what's the name of the other
guy? Who called before Nathan? You mean Art?
Oh, that's Art. Art.
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to Art. At any rate, my phone is probably going to turn off soon, but I wanted to ask you, what do you understand to be the narrow road?
The narrow road. I mean, it's what it says it is. You know what I mean? Like, when the Bible talks about the narrow road and the wide road, it's making a distinction in like scope of. It's making a clear distinction between those that get it, those that won't get it. And it's also prophetic. It's also prophetic in the sense that that people in the future, or people now, and people that will be, that there will be the people that follow the narrow road and the people that follow the wide road. So I really only take it as far as like kind of how it says. I've tried just reflecting, I guess, and seeing what road I follow, I guess. But how do I see the narrow road? I mean, that's what it is to me, just the way it's described.
Mm-hmm.
What is you might ask, what is the narrow road?
I'll say one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
That when you finally stumble across the narrow road, it really means that you are not on the wide road. That's what you're going to notice first. Because very, very soon after you find the narrow road, you will find that you are right back on the broad road, because this is all you know. It's all you know. And then what happens is that you're walking on the wide road and you're trying to get off of it, and you'll go off on avenues that still is a wide road, but you're getting a little bit closer to what you felt back then, that it's the narrow. And you'll really have to push yourself. Like it's like pushing yourself through a cranny, what can we say? At times you really got to push through to get on that narrow road, because you'll have so much peer pressure telling you, no man, come back here. Let's talk about these things. Let's be all happy-chappy, and let's just be regular people who are suffering and we're victims to society and all these things. Let's go out camping, My friend went camping yesterday. And, good for him. Maybe that's what he needs to do. I can't tell. But it's very visible that he's not an individual. But we got to be individuals and just let go of everyone that's tying themselves up to us, or vice versa, we are tied to them. Because look at us, we're pals and walking on this road, but we're not pals. But I hope you get what I'm saying.
I've been following so far, Patrick. So then why is it so hard to stay on the narrow road?
It's very difficult because you'll get tempted and you'll get pushed and you will be made to endure a lot of pain, a lot of shouting, a lot of mocking, and you'll definitely, well, you'll definitely be excluded from the broader society. Even yeah, no, that's really it. You'll be excluded.
So the temptations and pain you have to endure on the narrow road cause you to go to the wide road.
Yes, that's what happens with those who are found and then lost. Right? They go right back to it because they miss their job, they miss their social acknowledgement, and it's going to be that so transparently your.
But that sounds like the wide road.
Oh, sorry, I think I misunderstood you. What was it?
What you're saying the pain of people, shunning you, and the things that you'll have to go through on the narrow road will cause you to go back to the wide road, is what you're saying, right?
That's what happens, but that's what you've got to go through.
Okay.
I think Jesse, he's doing that every day.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get at something here. Sorry, someone texted me I forgot my train of thought here. Okay, so yeah, you're saying the wide road, the pain of the things that you have to go through on the narrow road cause you to go back to the wide road. But I'm saying that sounds like the wide road. That pain that you're going through. I
hear what you're saying.
That pain and what caused you to go to that same turmoil, that internal turmoil from people leaving you and you being hurt because of how people perceive you and the things you got to go through. That sounds like the wide road to me. Does that make sense? That just sounds like more wide road.
Well, it's no. I mean, I'm not necessarily speaking of myself, but I think it's like how you perceive it, right?
Okay,
more
so
like that.
Okay.
Whoever, the person who's walking on the on the narrow road now, everyone will be saying, oh, he's in so much pain. I'm not talking about the good things yet, but he's in so much pain. He's being socially excluded. He's being pushed around and all these things. And that's not nice. And certainly it is very strenuous.
But isn't that how you feel? Isn't that how you would feel when you're walking the wide road?
No. I want to. No.
It feels the same, is what you're saying. Aren't you feeling Aren't you feeling alone and judged and all that when you're on the wide road as well? So you're telling me it feels the same on both paths of life.
Who cares?
Well, apparently you care because you get thrown off the narrow road and you start walking the wide road again.
I don't know. I don't care about that, and I'm not on any wide road.
But if you didn't care, then how could you get thrown off the narrow road?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I think we're misunderstanding one another. You don't get thrown off the narrow road. It's a choice. It is necessarily a choice always. That.
Okay.
What happens is that you can get thrown out of your society or whatever, right? So you'll be excluded from from everything you know or used to know because you are following that narrow road. But the fruit of it is that you have inner peace and you definitely have clear attention from God onto you. And he sees you persevering. He's laying out that narrow road for you where he's guiding you, very specifically guiding you so that you'll know just the next step to take and you'll know exactly who to talk to and who to turn a blind ear, a deaf ear to. Sorry.
I think I understand, Patrick. I may not totally understand the concept of the narrow and wide road, but it's been an interesting call, though. Thank you.
You'll avoid a lot of trouble when you walk on the narrow, but it will look like you brought trouble on you. So that's it. Thank you for the call, Nick.
Anytime, Patrick. Appreciate your call. Moving the wheels. Tony, California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Nicky?
What's up, Tony? Did you call me Nick?
Right.
Did you call me Nicky?
Yeah, Nicky. Yeah.
Only family calls me that. But we're pretty much family, right, Tony?
I guess man, I've been knowing you since you've been on the show. I helped brought you into this world, man. What you talking about, Nicky?
You helped bring me into this world. You might not even be wrong about what you're saying. You did help bring me into this world in a sense. And so like that, you're going to take me out.
Well, after this call, I might will. But the thing is, I'm calling about the situation on America and its evil. How you can profit.
Okay.
How the evil can profit in America off alcohol, cigarettes, fentanyl, OxyContin, cancer treatment, Kellogg Rice Krispies.
Welcome to the world, Tony. Where have you been?
Well, I'm just saying,
it's been like
man,
that for 6,000 years.
No, it ain't been.
Man has been, colliding.
I'm just saying how the white man to take a product and profit off it and end up a pure evil.
Why are you saying the white man?
Even the religion y'all speak on is evil.
Why are you saying the white man? What made you bring up the white man?
Why?
I thought it sounded like you were describing man in general.
No, I'm describing the white man.
Oh, so only the white man has created things worth abusing, is what you're saying.
Huh?
Only the white man has created things worth abusing?
Well, it's evil, man. It's evil.
But is that what you're saying? Only the white man has invented anything?
No.
Anything worth
no.
abusing?
What he has invented is evil. The gun. The gun. Even the right. Excuse me?
Tony, I mean,
even the sugar.
I can't believe you. I can't say you don't really believe that. I find it hard to because you're kind of like you have like I feel like talking to you over the years. I've known you're a business owner. You're a little bit older. You would think that Tony, like you, would have at least enough sense to know that, that statement of the guns, white man created guns and guns are evil. There's no way you like. Do black men defend themselves with guns, or does any other race use guns for anything good? You're telling me you don't believe that at all?
Well, I'm not saying that you can't use a gun for something good to defend yourself or go hunting, but.
And why do you say the white man invented it? I thought Asian people invented black powder.
He did invent it.
Didn't the Asian man invent gunpowder, though? Get mad at the Asians. They invented gunpowder.
Well, you have to have the gun before you get gunpowder.
No, not necessarily true. No, they had different. They didn't have guns. They had cannons. They had different things.
It's just like saying what came first, the egg or the chicken.
No. Gunpowder. No guns. No, there was cannons and stuff before guns. Like so.
Okay, but it's still a gun. And
anyways, I'm just saying it sounds like something you wouldn't. I find it hard that you really believe that simplistic of a statement. White men created guns and guns are evil.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Everything the white man put on this earth for profit, most of it, not all, but most is evil. That's like the religion y'all speak on. That's evil.
So that means you've given up. Does that mean you're calling my show today to tell me to make your pledge that you're going to give up using all these evil things?
I have given them most of them, yes.
So you're pledging you're going to stop using them all?
I'm going back to my roots where we used to eat vegetables and fruit.
Nice. Veggies, fruits, no iPhone, no nothing? You're just going to go back to... How far back are you going, Tony?
Wait a minute,
How far back in history are you going?
The phone came from the black man. The cell phone came from the black man.
So you're allowed to use your smartphone, right? Because the black man invented that.
Yes. Anything the my ancestors came
So you're allowed to use the smartphone because the black man invented it, but the smartphones aren't evil.
Excuse me?
The smartphones aren't evil. Guns are evil. Smartphones are not evil.
I haven't seen a phone got up and killed nobody.
You don't see how it brainwashes people. You don't see all the people losing their minds over pornography and weird stuff on the internet.
News and just me Peterson. That's why.
You don't see people losing their minds over pornography and weird stuff on the internet.
Well, Nicky, I told you stop messing with that pornography. I told you that a long time ago.
I told you you'd be slandering on my show. What the?
I'm just saying, man. You know you was heavy into that mess. I had to talk you out of it. You remember that?
You're slandering me, Tony. You take it back, sir.
You ain't Justin. Y'all something else, bro.
Not funny. Listen, Tony.
What's that?
You're not answering my question. You're gonna say the smartphone's not evil and the guns are?
I'm saying
what makes the smartphone not evil and the gun's evil?
It depends on how you use it, son.
So now it depends on how you use it with the smartphone?
Yeah, I just didn't I say not all, but most.
You said you didn't say that about guns. You said guns are evil because white people created them, and everything white people create is evil. Or not everything.
Not all
the things that white people create for profit are evil.
Yeah, for profit, yes. Because that's all. They don't care about.
So a smartphone created for profit, created for many reasons, but one of them is profit, is not evil.
It all depends on how you use it.
And so what about the gun? Isn't the gun also depend on how you use it?
Yes.
Oh, so you want to amend your original statement then? Now you want to say the guns aren't evil. It's just how you use them.
I said most, not all, but most.
No. Your statement was guns are evil. White people created them. Guns are evil. Are you now amending your original? Are you amending your original statement? Now you're saying it's not the gun, but it's how you use it.
How many guns have killed people in this country, in this world today?
Hold on, we'll get to that. Do you want to amend your original statement? And now you're saying guns aren't evil; it's how you use them.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I
thought that first statement of yours didn't quite make sense, and so now you're saying how many guns kill people? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, though, it's a lot of guns out here that's in the wrong hands.
All right, Tony. I'm just saying that you gotta. I just want to say, man, think about the things you say. You might not have fully thought it out, because even in just this conversation, we figured out that your original statement.
Look at the alcohol use. Look at the drugs you're spitting on.
Right, but you came in saying that with the premise that all these things were created and that they're evil. But now you agree with me that it's not the things; it's how you use it. So maybe. Think about what you're saying, because maybe you're believing things that aren't true.
I jumped on everything else. And threw guns in there, and then you became just Lee Peterson, focus on one thing: guns. No. Look at the fentanyl. Look at Oxycontin. Look at these doctors, how much profit they made off that.
You agree with me? You agree with me? Sorry. What about it? What are you saying about it?
Look, I'm just saying. Look at the company called Purdue. How much money they made profit, then they turned around and got sued for very little of that profit they made. It's evil, man.
Yeah, it's evil. It's evil. That companies want profit. If that's true, what you're saying. Hold on. It's true, man. I don't even disagree. I see if it's true what you're saying. Companies putting profit over well-being of patients and well-being of people. That's evil. I see people unable to control themselves and taking these drugs when they don't, no one's forcing them. It's evil. I see the evil, man. Totally. Is there a point you want to make about that? I totally see the evil. Right on. Or is your point just white people made this and that's evil?
Well, the thing
is that your point, Tony? Is that your point? Do you agree with me? But ultimately, you want to say white people made this and that's evil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that.
And the religion. Look at the brainwashing of that. How many
moving the wheels. Thank you, Tony.
Away?
Clearly, if that's your statement, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Well, you know the truth. You just don't want to say it, but you know the truth.
I wish we could talk about it, Tony, but I'm talking to a wall.
It's poison, bro.
You're saying nonsense things. Thank you for your call.
It's not nonsense. The truth. Have a good day, bro.
Call me again. Well. Whatever. Mark. Okay. I just have to, when you get to that point, we can laugh. It's funny. Haha, Tony, whatever. Thank you for your call. I mean that. But once you get to the point of okay, we don't disagree. We don't disagree on the premise on drugs and what they do and where they come from and who's at fault. But you just want to add to it. Well, it's white people. It's just white people. They made stuff and it's their fault. When you get to that point, what more conversation is there? How do you get beyond that? Mark, California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call today, but this idiot that called in front of me motivated me. First off, he starts out talking about he doesn't know how to spell, obviously a dope. He spells America with 3 Ks at the end, but yet he lives here. Secondly, I wanted to talk a little bit
Good point.
about reparations. I mean, would you want your tax money going to that slob that called before me?
No.
Would you want to give that white-hating snake a penny?
No, man. I wouldn't want to give any. I have friends who want to leave California if that were to happen.
Well, okay, but I'm saying it's clowns like him that hate the white man that are going to get rewarded when they rob us, because reparations is legal robbery. It's legal robbery. No one in this state was ever a slave, and nobody in this state ever owned one.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what you're saying. It's true,
yeah,
man.
But
Mark, sorry, go ahead.
Pardon me?
No,
the only thing I say is I know it's your show and you could run it the way you want, but when you give a scumbag like that so much airtime to just hate on the white man, that is really hard to listen to. You can't I can't call and rebuke him, even though he is Satan. I can't do that because I got to sit here and listen and sit through his nonsense. Now, he's not the only one. He's a little stupider, a little dumber than most of them. And I hope he's listening too.
Okay. And
yeah.
so
he's a little dumber.
I know you don't. So
on
the running your show thing, well, you don't have to make comments like that anymore because this is how I run it. And clearly I gave you time.
You did.
And time to, may I ask, does Tony make you angry?
A little, yeah, because I gave you
time to hate on Tony. Because that's hate.
Well, fine. But that isn't even the reason I necessarily called.
That's besides the point.
But I mean, when you hear an evil man like that speak, and he is evil, and the thought that he could get 1 red cent in reparations is enough to go to war. I mean, that's war talk.
It's wild
he
stuff,
wants
man.
a war.
But you gotta. You just said it right there. You just said it right there, Mark.
What?
And I don't want to look. I like leaving room for the things you're saying because I don't even disagree. But I like talking with my callers on their reactions, and so, I hope you don't mind me doing this, but I just want to focus on that. It's like, think about this: you weren't going to call in until Tony called in and got you what? Is it fair to say riled up?
Somebody had to counter his evil. Somebody had to counter the lies that black man created the cell phone. What a lie. But
nobody, like, for example, Hake makes a good point here. Hard to take Tony seriously enough to get mad at him. It's like a lot of people aren't taking him seriously, and I know there's really, truly, haters out there, but what's more effective? I'm not saying I dealt with him absolutely perfectly, but what's more effective? Letting people see, letting him talk, and being and not really reacting emotionally to him, and then letting people see for themselves how he is, or getting emotional, or I don't want to put words like emotional on you because I don't really know, but getting riled up, getting, in my opinion, maybe even affected by someone you never met.
Well, I see your point. The thing that I don't like is, and I'm not blaming you because, it's your show.
No problem.
But to give an evil man like him time, I mean, you could laugh at him, but when you really look at what he says, he's the devil, man. I mean, he's Satan. He's Satan's boy up here on earth. And I say boy, emphasize the word boy. He's just an evil man.
You're not allowed to do that. You're white.
Yeah, well, I do it anyway. But Tony is really evil, and I'm not just talking about him. Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. But the reparations ripoff would give people like that money.
But that is going on already. Money being distributed to evil haters, white haters even, is like happening already that you're not even aware of. I know it's kind of crazy because it's coming from someone. Look, I know this is wild, Mark, because you grew up here and you're seeing your country change to a level you never expected it to be. You're seeing everything I'm seeing as well, maybe even more. So I don't discount that. And so I know that it's coming from me who moved here in 2019. Like, who the heck am I saying this? But it's already happening, Mark. And I know it's crazy to ask this of you, but I think maybe, chat, am I crazy for saying this? Maybe we gotta have a different attitude while the house is on fire, while the sink is shipping. The ship is sinking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's already happening. Are you gonna get mad about it?
Well, let me put it this way: I'll fight it to the last breath I have.
And I'll
fight their evil
man.
to
And
the
I respect
last
that.
breath.
I sincerely respect that.
They're evil.
I really do.
I mean, you're talking evil.
But there's
These
a right way of
people are
doing
more
things.
of a threat.
Go ahead.
These people are more of a. I just wanted to say that these people are more of a threat than the Russians or the Chinese. People like him who want to start a race war are really the number one problem in America. But the FBI, who used to follow scum, white haters and Black Panthers and BLM, have been, I don't know, just totally subverted.
Man. And I respect that. Look, that's just, I think I've said, I'll just be repeating myself at this point. But Mark, man, I sincerely appreciate your call.
God bless you.
Take care, man. Thank you. Oh, Mark, I have a question for you. Do you mind if you take this question from someone? He asks,
not at all.
Are you better than Tony, Mark?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
And why?
I really don't know him. I would guess he's got a lower IQ just from listening to him speak.
Are you better than lower IQ people?
Pardon me?
Are you better than lower IQ people?
Again, I think that's a loaded question. But I do think people with higher IQs contribute more than people like him who take. They take, we give. As far as being better, I don't like to say that. It has bad connotation. But all I can say is what he wants to do in his ilk is destroy this country. He complains constantly about the white man, yet he lives here. He can't spell America right, yet he lives here.
Have you ever said something to someone and you didn't mean to say it?
Well, sure.
And when you said that thing to that person you didn't mean to say, that means you thought something about them that wasn't true. Is that fair to say?
Possibly, yes.
So then how are you any different? You know, maybe now you've overcome that, but how were you at least at that point any different than Tony? Any different?
Well, I never...
Whether IQ or whatever.
Well, no, I never, downgraded my country by calling it America KKK.
No, but you lied on your brother.
America.
No, but you lied on your you believe lies about your brother and then acted on them.
In what way?
You said to me, you didn't say specifics, and I don't want you to. You said to me that you've believed lies. You've said things to people and you didn't mean to say it, meaning you believed something about them that wasn't true.
It's happened. Yes.
So you saying, I haven't denigrated my country, but you believe lies about your brother, which is what's happening with reparations. It's what's happening with Tony to what blacks to whites.
Well, I don't see the comparison. I mean, I'm not asking for reparations.
No, but you believed lies about someone.
Lies. I'm sorry. Lies about who?
You said something you didn't mean to someone. Like you just like you told me, and you believed something untrue about them. The way Tony believes untrue things about you and about white people.
Okay, so am I supposed to forgive him and say, "Here's a check, Tony, for reparations"?
Bingo. Well, reparations. Forgiveness doesn't mean accept reparations.
He'll take them. Anybody that would call America KKK would take reparations because they hate the country and they hate white people.
Fair enough.
And that's what he's motivated by. And I love your show.
Man,
and,
thanks for your call, Mark. Hey, appreciate your calls. I don't mind.
God bless you.
Take care. Moving the wheels. All right, y'all. I do appreciate your calls. I do appreciate your support and, watching my show. But that is all I got to say for today. That is all the calls for today. And as the Spirit is leading, that is the show for today. All right, y'all. So thank you for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe and follow. Tune in tomorrow at noon for more American Anchor Baby, as well as Hake and everything on the Bond Network. Right on, y'all. So again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and take care. Peace.